Zack Morris is trash.
Jessie is frantically guzzling coffee so she can stay awake to study for a geometry midterm. She tells Zack her dream is to go to Stanford and she needs straight A's to get in. Zack's not worried about the midterm because he says he always sits next to a nerd and cheats. Lisa and Kelly tell Jessie to relax because the midterm isn't until Friday, and they play a song on the jukebox they can all sing along to. Zack sees this nice moment and instantly wants to turn it into a way for him to get rich. He says a friend of his dad is a record producer looking to sign a girl group. Zack says he'll be their manager and they'll make a fortune. Zack asks them to drop everything and go audition for this strange man right now. But Jessie says she doesn't have time, because of the whole studying and dream of going to Stanford thing she was literally just talking about. They tell Zack they just sing to relieve stress and have fun, usually in the lockers. This gives Zack a great idea. Jessie is spreading herself too thin and gets a C on a quiz. Lisa and Kelly console her, telling her it's just a quiz and she can make it up on the midterm. Slater offers to help her study. Zack is ready to act on his great idea.
Get you recorded. You're going to the girls' locker room.
Yikes. Zack sends Screech undercover into the girls' locker room to trick the girls into singing into a concealed microphone. Slater is helping Jessie study when Zack barges in through the window to announce his record producer contact loves their locker room demo and wants to play it for his boss. Jessie is outraged Zack would record them like that, until Zack tells her the producer liked her voice the best, which is certainly a lie because all the girls were singing at the same time into a broomstick. After Zack leaves, Slater sees Jessie has been taking caffeine pills to stay awake. Slater warns Jessie these pills are very strong and potentially dangerous. Jessie, overwhelmed by the pressures of school and her new music career, ignores his advice. Zack shows up the next day with big news. The record label loved the demo, but there are 3 other girl groups they're considering signing. Zack says they'll make up the label's mind for them by creating a music video to show off their hot teenage bodies. Jessie says she doesn't have time because of her many academic commitments. Zack tells Jessie she can't let everyone down. Jessie succumbs to Zack's peer pressure, then takes more caffeine pills. The girls shoot an absolutely insane music video that takes up hours of valuable study time, with intricate choreography, multiple wardrobe changes, aerial acrobatics, and a whole lot of butts. It's mostly butts. The creeps at the record label unsurprisingly like the butts and want to see the girls perform live at the Max tomorrow, which means rehearsal tonight. Jessie says the midterm is tomorrow and she needs to study tonight, but once again gives in to Zack's pressure. Slater finds caffeine pills in Jessie's backpack and tries one more time to express his concern. Jessie tells him to mind his own business, then shows up to the midterm the next day tweaking out of her mind on caffeine pills and visibly scaring everybody but Zack. Slater asks to talk to Zack, who is in a rush because his girls are playing at the Max that night. Slater says Jessie has a real problem. She's hooked on caffeine pills and he's very worried about her. But instead of taking Slater seriously, Zack says they're probably just vitamins, then says he doesn't want to hear it and storms off. The girls have one last rehearsal at the Max, and even though Jessie is clearly in the middle of a manic episode, Zack completely ignores what's right in front of him because he wants to use these girls to get rich. Zack finds Jessie passed out in her room that night and tells her it's time to go to the Max. She's delirious and doesn't know what day it is or what's going on. When Zack still tries to drag her to perform, Jessie freaks out and goes to grab her caffeine pills. Zack scolds her for taking drugs and acts surprised, even though Slater just told him about this hours ago. This pushes Jessie over the edge and she completely loses her shit.
I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
Definitely not Stanford material. Jessie misses the performance and tells her friends her mom is taking her to counseling tomorrow because the pressure Zack put on her turned her into a drug addict with a psychotic mental breakdown. Let's review. Zack Morris saw his friends having fun and wanted to use it as a way to get rich. And when they wouldn't go along with it, he sent Screech into the girls' locker room to record them without their permission, then trampled all over Jessie's academic priorities and dreams of going to Stanford, with endless selfish distractions that pushed her to drug addiction, and ignored her cries for help and warning signs from her real friend until it was too late and she had a total mental and emotional collapse. All because he looked at his friends as a quick way to make some money. Zack Morris is trash.
Zack Morris is trash.